Okay, welcome back, students. Today we will discuss the goodness of, of a fit chi-square test. So, if we cross brown with the yellow, and if the yellow is for the heterozygotes, and sorry, brown is the heterozygotes, and yellow is the homozygous recessive, and brown is completely dominant to the yellow, then we expect the ratio of 1 to 1. Now, by chance, there could be a possibility that you can have a deviation from this classical ratio. And if there is any deviation or not, this is what we can calculate with the help of the chi-square test. Remember that we cannot count for the reasons behind this deviation, but we can simply calculate if there is a deviation or not. Now, chi-square test cannot tell us whether a genetic cross has been correctly carried out or not. It can tell us whether the expected and observed ratios they are same or not, but it cannot tell us whether our experiment is right or wrong. This is what you have to do by yourself after evaluation of your data, that where did you make a mistake. Then whether results are correct, no, it cannot tell us. Sometimes results could be correct and there could be some other explanation for that. And that again you have to find out scientifically. Then the whether we have chosen correct genetic explanation for the results or not. This is our own explanation, as I told you. So chi-square test cannot evaluate it, but at least it can let us know whether the difference is the uh, genetic one or some other factors are involved. Or even in some other factors, it could be genetic one, but whether they are following that law or not. For example, if you're following the Mendel law or not, the probability that the difference between the observed and expected value is due to chance. And this is what we calculate actually in this chi-square test. Chance plays a critical role in genetic crosses. You have seen that it's a matter of chance you will get the defected copy or you will get the right one from your parent. If your parent are carrier for that particular gene defected copy, and this is the good luck or bad luck of the kid, whether that will get the right one or the wrong one. So that's totally chance, and that's why there is a variation across the individuals and across the species on the globe. Okay, in genetic crosses, similar I have explained to you. Then the head and tails, you don't know you will get head and tail. This is all by chance. So we can calculate crossed. For example, in this case, we cross the two black cats. They are heterozygotes. Now we would expect 3 to 1 ratio because they are heterozygotes. So 3 should be black and the 1 should be homozygous recessive, that is grey kittens. Now you have 15 kittens produced and out of that 30 are black and 20 are grey, and we want to just establish whether it is 3 to 1 ratio or it is not 3 to 1 ratio, whether it's following the Mendel law or it is not deviating from that law. So simply you can calculate the uh, expected ratio. Expected ratio is probability multiplied by the total number of events. In this case, 50 multiplied by 3 or 4 is the probability that we will get the black. So 37.5. Similarly, for the homozygous recessive, this is 12.5. Now you can calculate the chi-square value. Chi-square equation is given over here. Sum observed minus expected. Its square divided by expected. In this case, you can see the first one, the 30 minus 30.5, 37.5, its square divided by 37.5, that is the expected ratio. Likewise, the expected ratio for homozygous recessive is 12.5, that is detected from the 20, that is the actual or observed ratio, divided by 12.5, that is the expected. And if you calculate, you will get this next line, and then the square of that, it will give you this value, and if you sum all these you will get the 6. So this 6 is basically the calculated value of the chi-square. This is what we have calculated. Now we have to see a table that we call the chi-square table, whether it's following the Mendel law or not. it will be seen or observed from the table. Our table will give us an idea about that. So degree of freedom in this case, there are two outcomes. Either it would be black or either it would be gray. So the maximum value is for the phenotypes is 2. So in this case, n minus 1 is the degree of freedom and 2 minus 1, that's the 1, is the degree of freedom. In this table, we will use the degree of freedom as well as the um, level of confidence. So level of confidence, we use the 0.05%, or you can use some other figure, 0.021 or 0.01. 0.01 means 10% error, 0.025 means 2.5% error by chance, 0.05 means 5% error by chance, and on the row side you can see the degree of freedom. In this case, the degree of freedom is basically 1, and we take 10% chance of the basically 1% chance. Sorry, we want to be sure 99% that this is whether following the genetic law or not. So the value is 6.635, whereas the calculated value is 6. So when the calculated value is lesser than the tabulated value, then your null hypothesis is correct. So in this case, our null hypothesis could be that this cross is following the Mendelian law, and or the ratio is basically 3 to 1. The alternate hypothesis, the ratio is not 3 to 1, or it is not following the Mendel law. So if the calculated value is lesser than the tabulated value, null hypothesis is correct. And if not, then the other way, alternate hypothesis is correct. And when the alternate hypothesis is correct, then you have to look for the other explanation, that why it is deviating from certain law. And if there is some deviation, there must be some scientific reason behind that, and you have to work out what could be the possible scientific reason for that. I hope you got the concept of the chi-square test, and if you can study it together with the practical part, where I have explained it once more with the dihybrid cross test, it will help you out. Thank you very much. Stay home and stay safe.